The air feels heavy with anticipation. Every heartbeat echoes in silence as Ty stands alone, staring at the horizon. Years of waiting, years of wondering, and now, the moment he's dreamed of is just within reach. A reunion that could change everything is about to happen. Will it be everything he imagined or something even more? The morning is calm, almost too calm, as Ty moves quietly around the farm. His hands fidget with a small, worn photograph tucked safely in his pocket. The photo is old, edges frayed, but the memory it holds feels fresh. He pauses at the doorway, glancing toward the empty path where he knows Daniel will appear. There's a nervous energy in him, a mix of hope and fear. He remembers all the times he imagined this meeting, how it might feel. How he might act, but no rehearsal could prepare him for the real thing. Ty walks slowly to the porch, steps deliberate but hesitant. The wind brushes against his face, carrying a chill that makes him pull his jacket tighter. He takes a deep breath, trying to steady himself, but his mind races. Every detail of Daniel, the smile, the voice, the laughter, they all flood back in flashes. Ty clenches his fists, letting the memories remind him of why this reunion matters so much. It's not just about seeing Daniel again, it's about closure, understanding, and finally, reconnecting with a part of his past that never left him as he moves toward the edge of the farm. His eyes scan every shadow, every movement in the distance. A car rolls slowly down the road and Ty's heart jumps. Could it be him? His pulse quickens, but he keeps his composure, pretending to glance at the fields while secretly holding his breath. The farm seems to hold its own anticipation. The birds quiet, the horses still. As if even nature knows this moment is sacred. Ty's mind drifts again, back to the last time he saw Daniel. It had been too brief, too incomplete. He remembers the words left unsaid, the feelings bottled up inside. Now, with Daniel's return imminent, Ty feels a mix of relief and fear. What if time has changed them too much? What if the person in front of him isn't the Daniel he remembers? He shakes his head, trying to push the doubts away. The truth is, he doesn't need perfection. He just needs the chance to see him again. The camera focuses on Ty's hands as he wipes a bead of sweat from his brow, revealing subtle trembling. Every gesture, every small motion, speaks of the emotions he cannot voice. He glances down at the photograph again, fingers tracing the outline of Daniel's face. A tear threatens to fall, but he blinks it back, forcing himself to stay present. His breathing deepens, and he mutters softly to himself, "It's almost time. Just a little longer." From the horizon, a faint silhouette begins to appear. Figure walking steadily toward the farm. Ty freezes, his breath catching. The world seems to pause, the rustling of leaves fading into the background. He takes a step forward, then another, heart hammering in his chest. Every second stretches, filled with longing and anticipation. This is the moment he's been waiting for. The reunion he's dreamed about for years is finally unfolding before his eyes. This first section sets the stage for maximum tension and emotional investment. Using subtle visual cues and internal monologue, perfect for a faceless video. Ty's chest tightens as the figure grows closer. Every step deliberate and calm, yet somehow heavy with meaning. He can't see Daniel's face clearly, just the familiar posture. The way he carries himself, the slight sway of his shoulders. Time seems to slow, each heartbeat echoing louder than the last. Ty's hands tighten around the railing, knuckles white, as if holding on will somehow steady the whirlwind of emotions inside him. Memories flood in like a rushing river. He remembers the first time he met Daniel, their laughter under the summer sun, the small moments that had etched themselves into his heart. He had thought he'd lost them forever, yet here, walking toward him, is a living echo of everything he's held on to. Ty swallows hard, trying to anchor himself to the present, but the pull of nostalgia is almost unbearable. The farm seems to hush around them. Birds pause mid-flight. The wind softens. It's as though the earth itself holds its breath for this moment. Ty steps forward slowly, each movement deliberate. His eyes stay fixed on the figure, searching for the familiar, the tilt of a head, the swing of arms, the rhythm of a walk only he would recognize. And then, for just a heartbeat, he sees it, the way Daniel's shoulders relax. The subtle gait that is unmistakably him. Ty's mind spins with questions and emotions. Yet he remains frozen in a delicate balance of anticipation and fear. He wants to run, to leap, to close the distance in a heartbeat. But he knows that rushing this moment could ruin its fragile perfection. Instead, he breathes, slow and deep, letting the tension settle into a quiet, intense focus. Every detail is amplified, the rustle of leaves underfoot, the distant creak of a fence, the faint shift of sunlight on Daniel's back. The closer Daniel gets, the more Ty notices subtle changes, how time has shaped him, softened some edges, strengthened others. He feels a pang of longing for what was, but also hope for what could be. His chest rises and falls with the rhythm of restrained excitement, and a quiet smile tugs at his lips. It's the first sign that he's no longer just waiting, he's ready. Suddenly the figure pauses. Ty freezes. For a long, drawn-out second, neither moves. It's as if the universe has compressed all the years, all the waiting, into this single suspended moment. Then, a small shift. Daniel turns slightly. Just enough for Ty to catch the outline of a familiar gesture. A signature movement only he would know. His heart leaps. He knows. This is really him. Ty steps forward again, almost unconsciously, drawn by a magnetic pull he has felt for years. The space between them shrinks, and with each step, the anticipation becomes almost unbearable. He can feel the invisible thread connecting them, taut and shimmering with emotion. The reunion is no longer a dream, it's unfolding in real time, raw and unspoken. Every detail matters: the way the wind brushes past, the way Daniel's shadow stretches over the field, the soft echo of footsteps mingling with Ty's own. This is the moment they've both been carrying in their hearts. And it's finally here, unfolding slowly, beautifully, perfectly. This section focuses on building suspense and emotional connection without showing faces, using gestures, memories, and environmental cues to make the audience feel the reunion before it fully happens. Time stretches thin as the distance between Ty and Daniel narrows. Ty's heart pounds in a rhythm that seems louder than the world around him. He doesn't speak. Words feel too fragile, too small for the weight of this moment. Instead, every movement, every glance, every breath carries the depth of years spent apart. Ty watches Daniel's hands as they shift slightly at his sides, familiar gestures that ignite memories like sparks in dry grass. The world blurs at the edges. Dust rises from the ground with each footstep, swirling around their legs like a private curtain between them and everything else. Ty can see the sunlight glint off Daniel's jacket, catch the subtle sway of his gait. And suddenly, all the waiting, all the longing, all the heartache feels tangible, real and close enough to touch. It's almost unbearable, yet he cannot look away. Ty's mind drifts back to all the small moments he's replayed in memory. Daniel's laugh echoing across the fields. The way he once reached out without hesitation. The tiny, comforting gestures that said more than words ever could. Now, standing just a few feet apart, he realizes how much those moments shaped him. How much he's carried them silently in his heart. Every second stretches, a silence heavy with anticipation and unspoken emotion. A soft breeze ruffles Ty's hair and Daniel's. And in that subtle motion, there's a fleeting brush of energy, an almost tangible recognition. It's as though the universe itself leans closer, holding its breath for what comes next. Ty takes a step forward, careful but deliberate, letting his eyes linger on the familiar outline of Daniel's frame. He notices how the light catches his shoulders, how his stance is slightly different than memory but still unmistakably him. It's enough to bring a lump to Ty's throat. Ty's thoughts tumble. Will he recognize me immediately? Will it be the same? But before doubt can settle, Daniel shifts, mirroring Ty's slight movement. A silent acknowledgement, a reflection of the connection that's always been there. In that mirrored motion, Ty feels a surge of hope and warmth. No words are needed. Their hearts are speaking. Every fiber of his being resonates with recognition. The tension stretches longer. The moment suspended in time. Their eyes, or what Ty imagines through posture and subtle cues, meet in a silent conversation. Every subtle movement is loaded with history. The distance of years, the pain of separation, and the joy of reunion. Tai swallows, a quiet shiver running through him. The reunion he's longed for isn't just happening, it's transforming him. Filling the empty spaces he didn't know were still aching, Tai takes another step. Closer now, closing the invisible gap with cautious certainty. His hand brushes his own chest, feeling the rhythm of a heart that has waited for this moment for so long. Daniel mirrors the subtle gesture, and the world seems to exhale. The tension softens, replaced by a quiet, undeniable connection that neither words nor gestures can fully capture. It's the recognition of souls finding each other again after years apart. Fragile yet unbreakable. Every subtle motion now tells a story: hesitation, longing, relief, and joy, all woven together in a silent dance of reunion. The field around them, the farm, the wind, the light, they all fade into the background. For Tai, for Daniel, this moment exists outside of time, intimate and eternal. The first connection, fragile and tentative, has begun. And it promises that nothing will ever feel the same again. The air between Tai and Daniel seems to vibrate with unspoken words. Every step they take toward each other feels deliberate, heavy with meaning, yet fragile like glass. Tai feels a strange mix of relief and fear-relief that Daniel is truly here, and fear that the years apart might have changed everything. But as he takes another cautious step forward, he senses something familiar in Daniel's stance. A quiet echo of the man he has missed so much. The farm around them becomes a quiet witness to their reunion. Rustling leaves, distant birdsong, and the faint creak of a fence all fade into the background. Time seems to stretch, giving space for every emotion to breathe. Tai's hand brushes against the railing, then releases it, his fingers trembling slightly. The air carries the faint scent of earth and grass, grounding him in the reality that this is not a memory or a dream. Daniel is here, real. And moving closer, Tai's mind flashes back to moments he thought he had forgotten: shared laughter, whispered conversations in the quiet of the barn, the comforting presence of a friend who understood him. Each memory hits like a gentle wave, swelling inside him until it threatens to spill over. He shakes his head slightly, trying to stay present, to not let the flood of emotions overwhelm the delicate balance of this first encounter. Daniel pauses just a few feet away, and for a heartbeat, the world stops. Tai notices the subtle shift, how Daniel's hands relax, the way his shoulders ease, the gentle tilt of his head. Every gesture is familiar, yet touched by the weight of time. The tension between them softens, replaced by a fragile thread of recognition and connection. Tai feels it pull at his chest, a quiet reassurance that despite the years, their bond remains intact. Tai takes a slow, measured step closer, and Daniel responds with a mirrored movement. The air between them hums with anticipation. Tai's thoughts are a tangle of questions and emotions, yet he focuses on the simple truth: this is real. He is here, Daniel is here, and the moment they've both waited for is unfolding. Their eyes are what Tai interprets through posture and subtle cues meet in a silent acknowledgement. A conversation without words that carries the weight of years apart. A soft breeze lifts, swirling around them like a gentle embrace. Tai feels the heat of his own emotions, the longing that has been dormant for so long now rushing to the surface. He imagines the small gestures that will follow: a hand extended, a shared glance, a silent reassurance, and allows himself to hope. The reunion is no longer just a possibility. It is a tangible, living experience. As Tai and Daniel move slightly closer, the invisible bridge between them strengthens. Every subtle motion, every quiet breath becomes a shared language of emotions. The past and present collide, but instead of chaos, it brings clarity. The years of waiting, of wondering, of longing are finally converging into this fragile, powerful, undeniable moment. Tai knows that once they close the remaining distance, nothing will feel incomplete ever again. This section builds emotional intimacy and connection through gestures, environment, and inner reflection. Keeping the faceless style cinematic and dramatic, the distance between them is almost gone. Yet every step feels suspended in time, like the world itself is holding its breath. Ty can feel the weight of years pressing against his chest, a mix of longing, fear, and hope, all swirling together. He hesitates, just for a fraction of a second, letting the gravity of the moment sink in. Then, slowly, almost imperceptibly, he lifts his hand. Not too fast, not too obvious, just enough to signal his presence, his recognition, his willingness to bridge the gap. Daniel mirrors the gesture, and in that shared motion, something profound passes between them. It's not just a hand extended, it's every unspoken word, every memory, every emotion they've carried across the years. The space between their fingertips shrinks, charged with anticipation and a silent promise that this moment is theirs alone. Ty feels a shiver travel through him. It's a kind that comes when your soul recognizes what your eyes cannot yet fully see. The farm around them seems to soften. The wind stills, the leaves hover in mid-motion, and the distant hum of life fades to a quiet backdrop. Every subtle sound, the crunch of grass underfoot, the faint rustle of clothing, even their own steadying breath, becomes amplified. Ty notices how Daniel's posture relaxes slightly, how a small, unseen smile seems to curve the tension in his shoulders. This is the man he's longed for, and yet, there's a sense of newness, too, as if time has layered their past with a depth neither could have predicted. Ty closes another half step, until the invisible thread between them feels like a tangible connection. He imagines the warmth of Daniel's presence, the comfort of someone who knows him deeply, someone who has been missed more than words could convey. The first touch is not dramatic or rushed. It is gentle, intentional, and reverent. A slight brush of fingers, a tentative hand, a symbolic acknowledgement of everything lost and now found. For Ty, the touch is more than physicalized as the embodiment of relief, joy, and the quiet closure of a long-held longing. Memories rush back as he stands there. Every shared glance, every laugh, every unspoken understanding that had once defined their bond seems to converge into this single, delicate moment. He can feel the invisible weight of all those moments he thought were gone, now transformed into this first, fragile connection. A quiet warmth spreads through him, filling spaces he didn't realize were still aching. Ty's eyes soar, what the camera suggests through subtle movements and posture linger on Daniel's silhouette. There is recognition, but also a cautious reverence. This is more than a reunion. It is the start of rebuilding what time had paused. Every motion is careful, every breath deliberate, because they both know that even a single misstep could shatter the fragile perfection of the moment. The scene stretches, the world narrowing to just the two of them. Every subtle movement, the slight incline of a head, a shift of weight, the gentle brushing of hands is magnified, a language of connection that transcends words. Ty feels it deeply. The first touch is not the end, but the beginning of something long awaited, powerful, and profoundly real. This section emphasizes the tension, the emotional weight, and the first symbolic physical connection, keeping the faceless style powerful and cinematic. The space between Ty and Daniel has all but vanished. Their movements are no longer tentative. They flow with the rhythm of years spent apart and the magnetic pull of recognition. Every subtle shift of weight, every slight gesture, speaks volumes. Ty feels the tension in his chest ease just a fraction, replaced by a surge of warmth that spreads from his heart outward. It's as if the air itself has changed, charged with the quiet electricity of reunion. Ty notices the smallest details, the way Daniel tilts his head ever so slightly, the gentle motion of his hands, the way he seems to unconsciously mirror Ty's posture. Each motion is a message, a confirmation that the bond they shared hasn't faded, it has only grown stronger in absence. The camera lingers on these small, faceless gestures, the subtle brushing of shoulders, the careful step closer, the slow exhale that releases years of held-back emotion. The wind lifts around them, carrying whispers of the past, the laughter they shared, the quiet moments of understanding, and the bittersweet memories that have lingered like shadows. Ty closes his eyes for just a second, letting the sensations of the moment wash over him. He feels Daniel's presence fully, as if every step, every breath, every heartbeat has been leading to this instant. The world around them disappears, leaving only the silent conversation of their movements and the resonance of motions too deep for words. As they stand nearly shoulder to shoulder, the energy between them is palpable. Tai senses a quiet acceptance in Daniel's posture, a recognition that this reunion is more than a meeting. It's a merging of past and present, a moment where healing begins. There is no need for words. Their bodies, subtle and expressive, speak the language of everything unspoken for years. Tai feels a trembling excitement, a mixture of relief, joy, and disbelief. He reaches slightly, not to grasp, but to affirm, to feel the connection that has been missing for so long. Tai's memories rush back vividly, small touches, laughter echoing in barns, quiet conversations under the stars. Every recollection blends seamlessly with the present, making the reunion feel timeless. He lets himself feel fully the longing, the fear, the anticipation, and now, the incredible satisfaction of presence. For a fleeting moment, time seems irrelevant. Nothing else exists except the quiet miracle of being together again. Daniel's movements mirror Tai's with a subtle grace. And in that reflection, Tai sees the reassurance he has longed for. The moment deepens, not with dramatic gestures, but with quiet intimacy. The brush of hands, the gentle alignment of stance, the unspoken promise that they are finally here, together. It's fragile, powerful, and utterly profound. Tai takes a slow, grounding breath, letting the enormity of the moment settle into his bones. The reunion has bloomed fully, not with words or grand gestures, but with the simple, profound language of presence, recognition, and shared history. Every step, every motion, every subtle shift becomes a symbol of connection reclaimed. A silent celebration of hearts reunited. This section emphasizes full emotional immersion, the power of small gestures, and the depth of a faceless reunion, making the audience feel the climax of their long-awaited connection. The world around them slowly exhales, as if the tension that has held the farm in quiet suspension finally dissipates. Tai and Daniel stand side by side, their movements subtle but full of meaning. No words are needed. The silence between them is warm, comforting, and alive with everything they've felt, everything they've lost, and everything they've regained. The reunion that began with hesitant steps has blossomed into a quiet certainty. This is real, this is lasting, and this is exactly what their hearts have been waiting for. Tai lets his shoulders relax for the first time in years. The tightness in his chest softens, replaced by a gentle warmth that radiates outward. He glances at Daniel, not the full face, but the familiar posture, the tilt of his head, the way he shifts his weight. Every movement says the same thing. They are here together, and nothing can erase this moment. It is a simple acknowledgement, yet it carries the weight of years of longing, fear, and hope finally fulfilled. They begin to move slowly, side by side, their steps in quiet harmony. The farm stretches around them, bathed in soft sunlight, the wind carrying faint whispers of birdsong. Every gesture, every tiny movement, is now infused with shared history and newfound peace. Tai feels the lingering echo of his old doubts vanish with each step, replaced by a steady, reassuring calm. It is as though the reunion has realigned not just their hearts, but the rhythm of life around them. Memories of separation and struggle blend seamlessly with the present, forming a tapestry of resilience and enduring connection. Tai senses the unspoken promise between them that they will carry forward together, unbroken and stronger than before. Even without words, there is clarity. What they have is precious, unshakable, and worth every moment of waiting. Every subtle gesture, hands brushing, shoulders aligning, a slight incline of the head is a quiet celebration of the bond that has endured time, distance, and uncertainty. As they reach the edge of the farm, Tai pauses, takes a deep breath, and allows himself to feel the magnitude of what has just happened. Daniel mirrors the pause, standing close enough to feel the presence that has been missing for so long. The air between them hums with unspoken understanding, the unbroken thread of their connection shimmering like sunlight across the fields. It is a reunion not of dramatic gestures, but of quiet, profound, enduring truth. The camera lingers on their side profiles, the gentle sway of their bodies in unison, and the subtle, invisible tether of emotion linking them. The wind stirs once more, lifting strands of hair, brushing jackets, and carrying away the last remnants of tension. Ty exhales slowly, a soft smile brushing his lips, and for the first time in years he feels complete. The waiting is over. The longing is fulfilled. The hearts that have been apart are finally at peace. The scene fades softly to golden light over the farm, symbolic of hope, continuity, and the quiet magic of reunions that heal more than just time, they heal hearts. Text overlay could read, "Some reunions aren't just moments. They are a lifetime of longing fulfilled." The music swells gently, leaving viewers with a lingering warmth and the satisfying closure of a long-awaited reunion. This final section resolves the emotional tension, highlights the subtle, faceless gestures, and leaves a sense of closure and peace for Ty and Daniel.